If we get enough people on your calendar for you and you're starting to have really good sales conversations, then you're going to figure out like, oh, my sales process isn't quite tuned up enough. Great. I'm an expert at that. Happy Wednesday, Sales Ascender. I hope you're doing awesome today. I am doing awesome because it's hump day. It's Wednesday. It's the day after election day, and nobody still even knows who the president of our country is going to be, which is awesome and kind of scary at the same time. On another note, it's time for another hard ticket tune-up. A little phlegm in there this morning. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Happy Wednesday. If you're watching and recording this, thank you for tuning in. And by the way, if you have any questions regarding the lost art of prospecting or sales, drop it below in terms of what questions you may have, because I will happily answer all of them. I just love you guys. It looks like we got a few comments coming in. Jody's in the house. She says, hey, Sean, hump day boner time. Yeah, that's correct, Jody. I appreciate you on that one. That's hilarious. All right, well, let's get into it. Today's we got a doozy. Jeff says this. He says, Sean, what's the fastest and easiest way to understand, create a magnetic message? And what he said after I questioned him on this is, he said the issue has been listening and hearing lots of different pains, problems, and roadblocks and desires from all of the prospects that he's been speaking with. And he's at the point where he just doesn't quite know what's going to be the best or the magnetic message that's going to resonate the hardest with his audience. And so all I talk about in this one is, it's a great question, because literally the answer is very simple. It's the sample size, right? If you're in that space and you don't quite know, like maybe you're making a shift or you're changing, you're doing something different, and you don't quite know exactly what you're going to put together to come to market with, then the secret is to literally design the person that you want to sell to and work with. Like, that's really important. Most people skip over this part. So just take a minute, think through like, who's the person I want to serve, and then literally go talk to a grip of those people. Right. So what Jeff was saying is, he said, hey, I've been listening and hearing lots of different pains to the people that I'm speaking with, problems, roadblocks, and desires. So he may even be a step further than this. And if he is, then the secret is, once you've started talking to that person, you've talked to multiple of them. Like when we started our high ticket sales agency, one of the things we first did is we needed to understand that if there was even a market that we should go play in, right? There's the red ocean, the blue ocean, and then like a purple offer. So what we want to do is we want to see if a purple ocean is really a thing. A purple ocean is just simply a place, a niche within a market. So if you did health, wealth, and relationships are the three core main markets. From that, if we went into, say, for example, wealth, and we went into real estate, then it would be like, I'm in the real estate market. That would be your red ocean. Then your blue ocean then would become like how to wholesale in real estate to earn cash flow. Maybe that's still a red market. Maybe you'd have to go even nichier further, but that's how you test and see where the blue market is. And then once you've kind of spoken to enough of the people in the blue ocean, you create a purple offer, because it's that place right between the red and the blue ocean where the people in the red ocean can see it. And basically they want to jump into your blue ocean so that you can serve them. And so the secret here is continuing to talk to a bunch of people. So when we started our high ticket agency, one of the things we did is we literally said, we're going to go talk to 40 to 50 of our perfect clients. And we're going to document, just like Jeff's been doing. He said, I've been hearing lots of different pain points and problems and roadblocks and even desires. And so as you speak with one person, you get a couple of those. As you speak to a next person, you get another couple of those. As you speak to a third person, you get another couple of those. As you get enough data in your sample size, as that grows a little bit, what you're going to start to look for is trends. You're going to see these trends that start appearing between each of the people that you're speaking with. And when you see enough trends, you'll know, your gut will say, oh my God, I've seen this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now. Like this little one desire, this little pain problem, this little roadblock, this little thing is going to go in my offer. I don't know how yet, but that's how I'm going to construct this thing, right? And so you continue speaking with people that are in your target market and you find out what these things are. So Jeff, you're already on the right track, doing a great job. Congratulations. And thank you for the question. And then literally, like, once you start to see the trend of the same pain or problem or roadblock or desire appear multiple times, typically 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times in the amount of sample that you talk to, then you know, hey, these are the things that need to go in my offer. And then from there, you go into an offer creation world where you actually start to build the first offer, right? And literally when you're thinking about the offer that you're creating, one of the things you want to focus on is literally what's the one domino out of all those trends that you've just discovered or identified that if you push that one domino down, it would almost solve all the other problems for your prospect or your clients. Again, in our world, we know that like most people, when they're passionate or convicted about something, they're going to be good at selling it just because they're passionate and convicted about it. Like that's really the first thing that you got to have whenever you're going out to sell stuff. And then the second thing is like, what's the one big domino? So again, in our high ticket agency, what we do for them is we, and these are guys that pay us 10 to 30 grand a month on a monthly basis, where we actually build out an entire sales ecosystem for them. So we'll put all the infrastructure, foundations, all this stuff in there, show them how to hire, onboard, and train sales pros. And then we start to manage them for them or with them, and then eventually hand off the management of the sales ecosystem that we put. And during that process, we learned that the biggest issue, the biggest domino in all of these prospects that we're speaking with was literally a lot of them, number one, didn't have the confidence to do it. Number two, didn't know really where to start or how to do it. But lastly, it was like the problem was if we could figure out, and we just did this naturally, like putting the right amount of qualified opportunity on a calendar for those guys changed everything in all of their businesses. And so we saw this was a trending problem and it happened over and over and over again. And so we're like, okay, that's the problem we got to go solve. And that's why we created our mastermind to solve that, because we've done it so many different times that it's really actually fairly easy for us to do. And so that's the one big domino, because we know, here's what I know in our world, right? If we get enough people on your calendar for you and you're starting to have really good sales conversations, then you're going to figure out like, oh, my sales process isn't quite tuned up enough. Great. I'm an expert at that. But we can't get to that problem unless you have that problem. And in order to have that problem, you need to get into the first thing that's going to come before it. In your world, it's going to be something very similar. Just kind of continue speaking with the sample and then creating this one offer. And when you have the offer, then what's cool is you start with the one big domino. If everyone can understand that and believe that putting the right opportunity on a calendar every single day will solve all their problems, then people have to, basically give me money. That's what Russell Brunson taught with the perfect webinar and all the other stuff. And so that's really the whole jux of it. So when you have the main core thing, you put your offer together and now you start going to those people that you already spoke with and you said, hey, look, like I'm thinking about doing this. Would you be interested in something like this? And they're going to be like, heck yeah, that would solve all my problems. Okay, great. Let's put a deal together. Let's make it work. Like, you want to work with me? I want to work with you. Like, how does it work? What does it look like? And from there, you can get into now setting up like however you're going to charge to deliver the service or the offer that you have shared. And that is literally the move. When you start with one, Jeff, then you've got your offer. It's going out to your clients. And then the next thing you do is you say, hey, look, I've got all these other pains and problems and roadblocks and desires that I've been listing. They weren't like trends. I didn't hear them over and over again, but I did see all of these other things. Guess what happens to all of those things? They now become little bonuses that go into your offer. So really what we want to do is we want to create one irresistible offer that covers all of them, but starting with like the main 3 or 4 trends that you see and speaking with the sample sizes, because when you have the right thing in your core offer, it gets really easy to sell. And then all we got to do is just go get in front of some people that are probably in the right market, and then you're good to go. And that's it. So suspect, prospect, client is usually the process. So the other piece of this was like, how do we make this message magnetic? I kind of shared some of the tips on how to do that. But then the other piece is like, if you feel that your one main thing isn't quite right, then test against it. Like, hey, this is my model here. Now I'm going to try this one. Just try it with 4 or 5 different prospects that you're speaking with. See how it lands with them compared to the other offer that you put together. If it does better, if you close more deals than not, then hey, maybe we should switch the offer stuff out and put that piece in. But literally, like, what I like to do when I create offers is I only create one offer. And the way that I create the offer is I listen to the people that are probably going to buy that offer. And I ask them a boatload of questions about why they have problems, what they've tried to do to fix it, how did it work, how much has it cost them, how do they feel about solving this problem, have they given up trying to solve it, is it something that they really want to truly solve or not, and literally just by asking some of those questions, then I'll have all the data that I need in order to create a really kick-ass offer. And so, in fact, when you first joined our family, again, our selective exclusive family in the inner circle, the first thing that we give to people is what we call the magic 8 questions. These are those questions that I just talked about. It's like, hey, I'm looking about trying to do this thing. Are you interested? Yes. Okay. Tell me more about that. How long has that been a thing that you've been trying to solve? What have you tried to do to fix it? Did it work? How do you feel about that? How much does all these attempts cost you? Have you given up trying to solve it? These questions, when you ask them one at a time in a conversation and you one question, one answer is how it should be done, you'll literally get all of the data that you need to build irresistible offers every single time. So Jody says, you look so good, so much weight. I miss you guys. Oh, thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. And she says, I have an awesome offer for you. And then she asks, how do you get quality leads and committed return customers? Again, Jody, it's where you're hunting, what you're doing, where you're searching, kind of off topic from the high ticket tune-up. And Jess, of course, hey, Jess, what's going on, girl? Solve the problem, have passion, great stuff. Appreciate you. And Neve is in the house. And it is Neve. I spoke with her. She's amazing. And she always gets insights from lives. Thank you. And Neve, you should have received an email. If you didn't, just hit me up in a messenger. Make sure that you get that. It should have been right when you first joined the Sales Ascenders Inner Circle family. So with that said, guys, that is what I would share with you on literally how to create the fastest and easiest magnetic message that you can deliver into the market. Jeff, I hope this answered your question. I love you. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Guess what? I'm going to be back tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday and another high ticket tune up. Until I talk with you again, I love you and go fight win.